Hello, my name is Ann Brinsmaid, and I have been here in Chicago and a member of the St. Chrysostom's community for 6 years. I am honored to serve St. Chrys in several areas on the vestry, on the board of the Women of St. Chrys, as an usher and a reader, and on various other committees. Today I would like to share some thoughts on one of those, the St. Chrysostom's Good Samaritan Committee. Our church seeks to address the spiritual and physical needs not only of our own parish, but also through several outreach programs of the wider community. The Good Samaritan Committee is one of St. Chris's newer outreach instruments, and the members are representatives from a number of the groups within our church with the goal of using the outreach funds and resources available to our parish as wisely as possible. We meet several times a year and keep connected through email as needed. Through the generosity of parishioners, the St. Chrys budget includes outreach funds. In addition, several of the groups within the church raise funds and designate resources to serve particular causes. In the Good Samaritan Committee, we receive requests for funds and assistance from numerous worthy causes, and we discuss how best to apportion our limited resources. We give special consideration to those causes in which parish members are demonstrating a strong interest and are volunteering. Our diverse committee representation ensures that we do not ignore one worthwhile cause while duplicating efforts elsewhere. Some recent recipients of the outreach of St. Chrysostom's have been the House of the Good Shepherd, which provides holistic transitional housing and family violence recovery programs for women and children here in Chicago. The Midtown Center for Boys and the Metro Achievement Center for Girls, with proven enrichment programs that guide low-income urban youth in Chicago along pathways of lifetime success. St. Leonards House for Men and Grace House for Women, which provide interim housing and supportive services for formerly incarcerated individuals who are returning to the community from Illinois prisons. And the Chiapas Ministry Project, which is a companion relationship with parishes in San Cristobal and Yochib in southern Mexico. Formed under the auspices of the Diocese of Chicago, the Chiapas Ministry has been inviting members of St. Chrys to make annual visits to these Chiapas parishes for over a decade. Chiapas missioners have maintained support and contact between visits as well, which has enabled us to truly befriend and connect with our Mexican brethren. Needless to say, the current COVID pandemic has produced even more need among all of our outreach recipients. The Good Samaritan Committee had reserved funds for emergency distribution, but needs continue to increase and requests continue to be received. When you consider your pledge for the coming year, I hope you will think about the effect you can have on St. Chrysostom's outreach efforts. It is indeed a blessing to serve on the Good Samaritan Committee and to help our community. We would be so grateful to have your pledge to St. Chrys, one that will enable us to continue to help those in need and even to expand our reach. Please be generous. Please help us to help those who cannot do it by themselves. Thank you.
Leonards Ministries is an Episcopal charity for men and women just released from prison. It's located slightly west of the United Center. It's a residential facility, and at St. Leonards Ministries, the men and women residents learn how to effect the transition from prison back to normal life. They have classes in anger management, job skills, job interviews, also cooking classes where they learn how to follow the city guidelines for people working in restaurants and schools. and carpentry workshops. St. Chrysostom's has been involved with them for quite a while as recipients of our charities. We have one program called Recognition Thursdays, that once a month we recognize people whose caseworkers have nominated them as being outstanding in their transition to life. And we, in pre-COVID, we went over there, we had a party, the final Thursday, we had a cake, the residents would get up and the caseworker would talk about them, and then afterwards we would have a social time and we would interact with the residents. We now, of course, do this all virtually on Zoom. The Good Samaritan Society of St. Chrysostom's also supports St. Leonards. Last year, we bought 50 box fans. They're not air conditioned, for the men's residences. The women of St. Chrysostom's help in Grace Place provide bedding, clothing for the women who are residents there. In addition, we have had fundraising programs, but importantly, we need people to support St. Leonards Ministries, men and women, in their transition from prison back to being law-abiding, normal citizens. We can do this with money. We can also do this with our physical health. Volunteering for St. Leonards, or participating in Recognition Thursdays. For that, Recognition Thursdays, contact me, John Craig Cox at St. Chrysostom's. That's it.
Hello, I'm Judy Bross, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Chiapas Project, which is the first international outreach program that St. Chrysostom's has ever had. And we are so proud of the program, which began about 13 years ago when the Bishop of Southeast Mexico approached the then rector Raymond Webster and his wife Eve and my husband John Bross and myself, inviting us down to Chiapas, which is the largest and the poorest state in Mexico. If you look at a map, it's right down by Guatemala, and it's filled with wonderful people, many of whom formed an Episcopal church down there. The bishop is an Episcopal bishop, and he invited us to tour the colonial town of San Cristobal de las Casas and the Mayan Highlands town of Yochib, which is an indigenous group of wonderful people, and we helped found the churches in both of those communities, in the city and also in the highlands. And we go down as a group once or twice a year, and we offer English lessons and health lessons, but most of all, it's about the camaraderie and fun we have with the parishioners down there. You can imagine going for 13 years that we've become great friends and cohorts with these families, and so appreciate the church services we can attend. And we have activities for women and children, special programs to build self-esteem and encourage creativity among young girls. We offer programs for people to come down from the Mayan Highlands into San Cristobal for Bible study with their fellow parishioners there. We have wonderful opportunities for people like Wes to play soccer and baseball with the kids, and it's just a wonderful opportunity to be of service, to provide both funding for our Padre Florencio, who is our minister there in both congregations. We pay for his salary through our Chiapas Fund at St. Chrysostom's. And we also have offer the English classes and the health classes out in the Highlands, and other activities which are supportive of the people in our sister parishes in Chiapas. Right now, we're very excited to have started a food pantry just kicking off right now in December, thanks to funding from the Good Samaritan Fund at St. Chrysostom's, which is taking care of families who literally have nothing to eat that are in the barrio where our church is located. We supply a lot of beans and rice and flour, other ingredients to people who recently experienced a terrible flood there, in addition to the traumas of COVID-19. This is a project where many of our volunteers, such as John Cravecox, Dorothy Ram, Wes Smedley, and Brinsmaid, and Driscoll, and myself and my late husband John have been involved for years, and we love it so much, and we can't wait to be back. And we want to thank all of the parishioners who supplied money, as well as bought the textiles, the homemade textiles in the project John Cravecox sponsors, and thank all of you who contributed to our scholarship fund in Southeast Mexico.